with fear. Freedom we all hold dear, now is at stake. Humble your hearts to God, save from the chastening rod. Seek the way pilgrims trod, Christians away. My Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Many will meet their doom. Trumpets will sound, and all of the dead shall rise. Righteous me.
Thanks for joining us today. I think you're going to enjoy the time that you spend with us today, because we've got a man here today that's helped so many people. And if you have people in your family that's looking for a job, or you'd like to have a better job, this program is going to be geared just for you. Our guest, is first time to be here. I'm proud you finally got you over here. I've been wanting to get you here a long time. It's Pat Waggoner. Pat, glad to have you here.
How are you doing?
Now, what we're going to do, Pat, we're just going to sit here and talk, okay?
Okay.
And I want to get your heart on this screen, because you help so many people. And you're an elder at the Creve Hall Church of Christ.
Correct.
And but you're just a good person. You drive a bus at Inner City Ministry. You help our people find jobs. You do so much. And the job that we're here talking about today is a program that you started at Creve Hall, and it's called Job Seekers. Tell me about Job Seekers.
Okay. We have a class every Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Now, why did you say it at 7 a.m.?
I said at 7 a.m. because that's the best time to meet with people, and when they leave there, they're ready to go find a job. So we said at 7 because that's the best time that people are not busy at 7 a.m. normally, and we wanted to get them out early, because that's what it's about. Is every day they've got to be up. We give them activity goals for each day. We tell them how many people we want them to meet, either face-to-face or by phone each day. And it's all about networking and finding your next job.
You know, I've known Pat Waggoner a long, long time. I know a lot of people, or I meet a lot of people. I have a lot of acquaintances. Mm-hmm. I've never heard one negative word about you in my life. And this is not what he does for a living. Pat Waggoner is a real estate broker, I think is what it is. Isn't that what you do?
Affiliate broker with real estate. Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what that is, but I know that's where you make your living. You're not making your living in Job Seekers.
No.
This is a ministry, another ministry that you do to help people. Why did you start this program?
We started this program 4.5 years ago at Creve Hall Church of Christ, because several of the deacons came to me and said, Pat, do you realize that we have 2 more families out of work? And back then, about a little over 4 years ago, there were over 30 families unemployed at Creve Hall Church of Christ.
So you have a big church. Creve Hall is a large congregation. It's located on Trousdale.
Correct.
What is it? Trousdale Street?
Trousdale Drive. It's 4806 Trousdale Drive.
Right off Harding Place.
Correct. Right off Harding Place. And that's where we meet every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Normally, if there's 12 or fewer people, the class will last till about 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. And if there's more than 12 people, it'll be about 10 o'clock before you get out.
But so you need to plan on being there a while when they come. What does people need to bring with them to come to this class?
Really nothing. If they have a resume, we're happy to review that with them. But mainly just be there, and they bring nothing. But if they're working on a resume, of course, we want them to bring that. What we do, we talk about the toughest job in America today is finding a good job, and we talk about how to go about doing that.
Now, see, that hurts people. When people go out, my folks, the people I work with, and you know a lot of folks that I work with, because you work with them too, they don't have a lot of self-confidence to start with.
Correct.
And they undersell themselves when they go out.
Correct.
And when they go out, they go in with attitude. A lot of my folks do, and some of you watching, I'm talking to you, you're going, you don't want to hire nobody, do you? And so they talk themselves out of getting the job. And so you do this as a ministry to touch the people's lives, to help people. Right. That's the thing I want people to understand. This is not, he's not getting paid for this.
No.
This is to help you improve your quality of life. That's what being your quality of life. That's what being a Christian is all about. Pat, you're one of the finest Christians I know. You do a good job being what Christ was to people. And that's good. And you do this work. So when they come to your class in the morning, biggest challenge in front of you is get them up and know they can go get a job, I would think.
That's correct. We change their whole attitude. We try to reinvent them into what the job market it requires today. We try to give them confidence. We tell them they're to have a positive attitude. I don't care what happened at their last job or who did what to them or whatever. They're never to speak of that. They're just to focus on their next interview, their next job.
Do you use scripture in doing that?
I do. I use what we do is we look at we have a devotional before we begin the class, and we pray for each person in the class. Sometimes they will have a special prayer request. Their mother's sick or their aunt or whatever, and we include that in the prayer. So we
take it right to the throne of God right
quickly, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Jesus said, he was asked the two greatest commandments. And so we try to keep both the vertical focus on loving God with all your heart, soul, and might, and the horizontal focus there is love your neighbor as yourself.
And devil tries to trick us on that.
That's correct.
He tries to get us to think we're not worth nothing, yet God gave his son to die for us. Everybody's worth something.
Everybody's worth something. Romans 8. Look at that. We're heirs of the Father, joint heirs with the Son, and so
we don't know
we're
that.
Children of God.
We let the devil define us. We let the world around us define us. We let the music we listen to define us. And so when we wind up, we think we're about that tall. And it's all because we've allowed the devil to define us. Right. And evil forces in the world to define who we are, when Jesus is saying, look, come on, I'll help you.
It's all about the daily battle between physical and spiritual, and in keeping your life in balance and in focus with the eternal or spiritual. That's what it's about. And we teach them that they're to have confidence, but they're not to be cocky or not to be over confident. They're to be just...
I guess probably what I would like to say is you teach people to be confident in God, in who they are, and not confident in their own skills and their own abilities.
That's correct.
Become cocky, but it's, I'm a son of the King. I used to teach teenagers back when you was a young man, Pat, and I would tell them, when you go into school on Monday morning, we'd have a great weekend, a lot of study, a lot of activities, a lot of constantly revamping our relationship with God and who we really are. And I'd tell them, when you walk up to school in the morning, because it's tough going to school, and I'd tell them, you stop at the front steps, take you a deep breath and look up, and throw your shoulders back and walk in there like you're the son or daughter of a king. And you walk in with confidence, not in yourself, but in who you belong to. You are somebody special. Your folks come out and they're really beat down when they get there, aren't you?
They're usually depressed, or they're struggling, and we try to reshape that and transform that into what they should be. And we look at their experience, we look at their abilities, their talents, and we try to channel them into what the current job market requires.
Now you keep saying we. So when you come in, you're doing a devotional. I assume that's a group setting.
It is a group setting. There's two men that help as volunteers. One is Edward Burrell. Edward Burrell has worked for several insurance companies. He's interviewed over 3,000 people and been a part of hiring hundreds of people. And in fact, Edward, he was in that class, or he came to that class and said, this is what I want my ministry to be. So he is there every week just as a volunteer. He wrote a book called Beating the Gatekeepers, and he just basically tells you in that book what you should do to change your focus on what will be positive and will produce hopefully a job as soon as possible. So
my guys, I'm talking about my young adult males that I work with, they have such a beat down personality, attitude, because they don't know who their father is. Many of them don't. Right. They've been told they're not worth nothing. They didn't do well in school. They come from a dysfunctional background, and you've hauled thousands of them to Bible classes, and what they're up against. When they walk in and they're beat down like that, what y'all start talking about? They're the son of a king. God will see them through this. And what else do you do to keep lifting them up and giving them strength?
Well, the main thing we do is we find out where they are on their job search. We help them with procuring or trying to help them with 1 or 2 interviews every week.
Now,
so if you're a civil engineer, or if you're a carpenter, or if you have a felony and you say, no one's interviewing me, we channel them to corporations that are hiring. We channel them to, based on their talent or skill set, to companies that will at least give them an interview. If you do not have an interview, you will never get a job.
So when you go, you've got 12 people, let's say, in the room. You had your devotional. Devotional's over. Okay, you got 3 people working with these 12 people. Is that?
Yeah, Robert Underwood is the third one.
Oh, he's a good man.
Robert's a good man, and
he's all heart.
And he's always about helping people.
He is. His whole life has been about helping people.
He was a retired social worker from the state of Tennessee.
I didn't know that.
And and he has been in charge of our benevolent program for years.
That's where I know him from.
Right.
If you needed something, you call Robert.
You call Robert.
If he had it, he would get it. Yeah. And if he didn't have it, he'd try to get it for you.
Right.
Yeah, Robert Underwood and Chuck Griffith helped so many people in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And Chuck now in Mobile. Okay, once the devotional's over, what about a person? You take them one at a time?
No, here's what we do. We have everyone sitting around the table, and I will kick off with probably 15 or 20 minutes of thoughts about the job market, what companies are hiring, what they should, basically, and then Edward Burrell will then kick off, or he'll usually take about 15 minutes to kind of define what is important for people to think and do in this job market, and then Robert Underwood will do a segment, and then after that it's about a 30-minute segment. Then we go around the room, and each person gives a 3-minute elevator speech, who they are, what their job experience is, what they're looking for, what their passions are as far as employment, and they tell us who they've talked to, what companies, or maybe there's companies that they know have certain jobs, but they've not been successful at finding interviews. So we try to help them to get an interview at those companies. I tell them that all the big companies in Nashville are hiring. Sometimes you see television or newspapers say, they've frozen jobs or whatever, but I've never talked to a senior executive at a corporation that says, we're not hiring. Most companies are always hiring. They've got opportunities. If that person is a team player, and if they're going to what I call move the needle. When I say move the needle, a corporation wants to hire somebody that's going to help with their volume, increase their volume, productivity, or in some way cut their costs, so it adds something to the bottom line.
Every employee has to be a benefit to the people they work for.
That's correct.
A lot of our folks don't understand that.
And they have to be team players. They have to do whatever it takes to accomplish the goals of that company, and to try to be a team player, and that usually awards them with a job.
The old saying, if you're the best at what you do, you work hard and be the best at what you do, you'll always have a job.
You'll always have a job.
If you're going to be a custodian, if you're the best custodian in town, you'll have a job.
Right.
And that's what you're instilling in people, helping them to see that they're worth something. And it's very important. This is information my folks don't have. It's important to know something about the company you're going to work for and know what that company is looking for. And y'all do that for them.
That's what we do. If someone has an interview with a corporation and they say, I'm interviewing with a company and this is the job I'm interviewing for, Edward Burrell will research that company and the job, and he will prepare them with a mock interview. So he said, I can tell them 90% of the questions that they're going to be asked before they ever walk in the door. And he's done that all his life with interviewing people and helping
well, that's an edge, isn't it?
That's a tremendous niche. And when they go in there, they're prepared, they're ready, and normally those questions are the primary questions that are going to determine whether they're hired or whether they're not hired.
All right. Is your experience, which is just vast, but people undersell themselves way too often, don't they?
Mm-hmm, they do. And several people, like a fellow came to us this week. He's been with a company 18 years, and all of a sudden they tell him, you know, you're no longer employed with us. We're laying you off. And he said, Pat, I don't know what to do. He said, I've never had to find a job. He said, I had a job right out of college, and he said, I'm lost. And so we help kind of put them on the right path, and they prepare to go out and find employment. So,
and he'll be able to do that.
That's what
You'll
we
get
do.
him with somebody else that he can do the same thing or close to the same thing. What about people? People that's out working and been working in the company. My experience has been with a lot of folks is we get out of school, we don't know what we want to do. We go out and get us a job, and or get out of jail and don't know what we're going to do. We go out and get us a job. Mm-hmm. And so about 30, 32, 33-year-old, they start looking at their life and saying, hey, you know, I think I'll change jobs. I think I want to do something else. And then they really take off and become, this is what they're going to spend the rest of their life for. They kind of grow up at that point in time and start really focusing. Do you get people coming to you that's just wanting to change jobs? It's their job and they want to move up to another job?
In fact, we have a policy. We never take a day off. So it's kind of interesting to me on bank holidays or government holidays, we will be there. And it's kind of interesting to me, those are our largest classes, because we'll have people come that cannot come on Mondays because they're currently employed with someone. So they will show up on those days, and we'll have a full class. So we help those people, and we tell them what companies are hiring, what they're looking for, what they're try to match their skill set.
Now, when they break up, Underwood, he's got experience in America with the social services and so forth. What's the other man's name?
Edward Burrell.
Burrell. Now he is going to prepare. He has to meet with them one-on-one, doesn't he?
He meets with them one-on-one. If you say you're going to interview with a large corporation on Thursday, he'll try to meet with you prior to that one-on-one, and it will be about an hour and a half mock interview. And before he comes to that mock interview, he's already researched that job, that company, and that's what he tells you to do, is prepare for when you go in that. You want to know as much as you can know about the company, much you know about the assignment that they're looking to hire for, or the job.
So when you come in and you say you're going to be at Creve Hall on Monday morning at 7 o'clock, I'm coming out to look for a job Monday morning at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
And so I'm going to be there probably to 9 or 10 o'clock at Creve Hall.
Yeah.
So after I finish that period of time and I say, okay, I'm going to go do X job, I will, then y'all will work with me and prepare me beyond the original meeting. Y'all will meet with me and prepare me for being out seeking another job. So it's just not.
Right. We will help you with your
This
resume.
is more than promotional.
We'll help you with your resume. We will, as we go around the table, what's kind of fascinating about this is the synergy that happens there, because you've got, let's say, 12 to 15 people in a room, and one fellow has just been on an interview with a large company, and somebody over here says, well, I'm looking for a job as an accountant or whatever, and someone across the room will say, well, by the way, I was at this company last week, and they're looking for 4 accountants. So it's funny, each meeting you receive the names and numbers of everyone in that class, and it's funny because they help each other find jobs. We're just kind of the master of ceremonies. We just kind of get it going, and what's funny is how there's so much synergy, and the knowledge is really from the class.
It's a lot because
they know
12
more
people, right? It's in the market.
It's in the market.
They've seen 15 people,
Right.
and you pull it together. There's 100 companies represented with experience at that table.
Just at that table.
For the people that's been out talking to those companies.
Because they've been talking each week. They're talking to, a half a dozen companies every week. We tell them to network with 4 to 6 people every day. that are the busiest people they know. So if they call you Lytle, it's because you're busy.
Okay.
And, but we say we don't want you harassing them, but we just want you to say, I'm Pat Waggoner, and I'm currently looking for employment opportunities. Let me know if you hear of anything and you tell them the field you're in. So you just have to stay in touch with as many people as possible. And it never fails that usually they don't know. When you first meet someone, they don't know about job opportunities, but they will call you 2 or 3 days later if you've given them a resume or just given them a card. We tell them it's important for each person that's unemployed to have a business card so that you can give them something that they'll remember you.
Where they get the business cards made at?
Yeah, there's
You go to
several
Office
places.
Depot or somewhere and get them made for you?
We don't tell them where to go for that. We just tell them,
Get a business card.
Try to have, if you don't have a resume or you don't, if you're looking at different types of jobs and you want to have a resume or a business card, that some way somehow they will connect you with that discussion or that interview, and then it always happens 2 or 3 days later. They say, oh, by the way, I was with my brother-in-law Friday night, and he works for X company, and they're looking for 3 people that do exactly what you say. So
Go there and fill out an application.
yeah, and that is the best way to find a job. Get a referral from someone that either has a direct contact with the company, because the companies, when they ask for someone to, let's say they advertise for a certain job, they're inundated with 200 resumes, and it's very difficult for them to screen to come up with the top 10, 15, whatever it is they're looking for.
But if one of their employees come in and say, I've got a person that's looking for a job, I appreciate y'all taking a look at him, that might just move them to the front of the line.
Well, that's exactly how it works. It's networking is the key.
What is the biggest, we ain't got about 8 minutes to go, but what is the most often or the largest, don't know how to ask this question, misconception about going and getting jobs? In other words, what do people that come in, those 12 people come in and sit down around that table, what is the number one wrong idea that they bring to that room?
I will share with you, it's kind of funny, we work with older people and we work with younger people. And the younger people, the misconception is, well, they're not hiring anyone but experienced people. So they get upset because they said, oh, they get down about it. They said, well, they're not going to hire me because I've never had a job or I've not had the experience. And the older people come in and say, well, they're not hiring me because I'm overqualified, and they will not interview anyone over a certain age. And Edward Burrell tells them, he says, age has nothing to do with it. He said
Really?
that hiring person, the supervisor, wants the best person for that job. Whether they're 30 years old or older or younger or whatever, it doesn't matter. And he said, I've been in over 3,000.
He's qualified, isn't he?
Yeah, he said, I've been in over 3,000 sessions, and he said, we'll do panel interviews. And he said, it has nothing to do. He said, usually on a panel, everyone agrees that person was the best job. Has nothing. Nobody asks about, well, what do you think his age is or her age is, or. But that's the most.
Kind
They
of like
want
coaches.
the best.
They look for the best athlete.
Yeah, you want the best shortstop on the field, and you want somebody that's going to be in the game swinging away. You don't want somebody that's going to sit on the sidelines and watch things happen. You want somebody that's going to perform, and that's what they're looking for.
We got 4 minutes to go. What have I not asked you that I should ask you? Because this is important information. And the people can get in touch with me, and I'll get them in touch with you if they want to know more about how to reach you.
Okay.
If you'll get me at my email there or the ministry webpage and let us know that you're looking to meet with Pat Waggoner, and we'll get that information to you so you can get in touch with them. I want to encourage you to do what God created you to do. God created you for something great. Step up and do it, and start with these people here. The reason they are so successful is they're not making anything off this.
Right.
They are doing this because they care about people, and they got a track record. How many jobs have y'all gotten people? Do you know?
Probably over 1,500 jobs.
You put 1,500 people in the workforce.
Right. I want to share, Brentwood United Methodist Church has a great program on Monday nights, and we tell everyone to go there on Monday nights at 6:30, and the program is structured a little different. They've got a headhunter or an experienced person, a recruiter, a personnel person, and the speaker starts at 7 o'clock. That's in Brentwood. Lipscomb University has a great program on Wednesdays at 8:30 in the morning called Reclaim Tomorrow. So we tell people, you know, if you don't have any interviews on Monday night, you be at Brentwood United Methodist Church. If you don't have interviews on Wednesday morning, you be at Reclaim Tomorrow, and it's at the Swing Center right across from Allen Arena.
So you can just walk into these meetings just like you can
walk into them.
Creve Hall.
At Brentwood United Methodist, they'll have 75 to 100 people there every Monday night. At Reclaim Tomorrow, they'll have 20 people there every Wednesday at 8:30. There are career coaches with State of Tennessee that you can be assigned to. It's free with the Career Center down in Metro Center. If you're in Davidson County, that's the best place to go.
So if you're looking for a job, you go out and look for a job. That becomes your job.
That becomes your job is to look for a job. And the good news is you're in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
People are moving to Nashville. I know that because of real estate. They're moving to Nashville for jobs. And it's a great place to be. If you're out of work today, Nashville is a great place to live.
So you got good news is that if you're out, you got bad news, good. Bad news, you're looking for a job. Good news is you're in Nashville, Tennessee, and you're going to find a job.
You're in Nashville, so you're near Spring Hill, Thompson Station. There's lots of jobs out there.
We got 1 minute. You take everybody. You can get people jobs in fast food. You can get jobs, executives for companies. You do it all.
The girl that heads up the airport food services, she called. She said, "Pat, I'm looking right now for 20 employees." Another company called, said, "Pat, I'm looking for 40 employees." "Pat, I'm looking," and these companies call me, and I just channel them to these people. There's no fee by the church or by me, or it's free, and we're doing it as a service to hopefully put them on someone's payroll.
Man, we're proud you came by and shared this with us. We appreciate what you're doing and all the people that's working in this, folks, and let's don't waste this opportunity. Let's get out and get a job. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Right. Get in the game and work, and let God bless you, because you're worth a good job, and get out there and get it in Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for tuning in.
Sometimes I hear feeling men's hearts with fear. Freedom we hold dear now is at stake. Humble your heart to God, save from the tragedy wrong. Seek the way pilgrims strive, Christians away. My Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Many will meet their doom. Trumpets will sound, and all of the dead shall rise. Righteous me in the skies. I'm going where no one dies, heavenward bound. What troubles will soon be, or happy forevermore. When we meet on that shore, free from all care. Rising up in the skies, sailing this world.